Hey guys, you're listening to the PetaPixel Podcast, where we talk about all the latest news in the photographic industry and more. But if you're looking for expert advice, incredible selection, and the best deals on photographic equipment, video, lighting, and more, you go to B&H. B&H is PetaPixel's new gear partner. And for even greater savings at B&H, we recommend the B&H Payboo credit card, which lets you save the tax. You pay the tax, and B&H pays you back instantly. Save the tax on all eligible purchases shipped to eligible states. Or you can pay over time with our 6 and 12-month financing on minimum purchases of $199 for 6 months or $599 for 12 months. Terms apply. Learn more at bhphoto.com/Payboo. Credit card offers are always subject to credit approval. Payboo credit card accounts are issued by Comenity Capital Bank.
It's PetaPixel. 3 friends talking cameras. I hope this goes well. That is a new haiku by Jordan Poet Laureate Drake. So I hope you all enjoyed that. I hope it put you in a contemplative mood to start the PetaPixel Podcast with Chris Nichols and Jaron Schneider.
I sent Chris a haiku last week, actually, and he...
yeah, that's a good one. I saw that meme, too. It's pretty hilarious. We can't repeat it on the show.
Can we not? Hold on. Let me see if it's actually allowable. If there's no curse words in it, I will read you the haiku.
I have no problem with it, but it's good. But I appreciate you guys both trying to respect my culture.
That's why I do this.
In arguably one of our worst art forms, but whatever.
We thought it would be a fun topic to go through and take a look at the coolest lens for every lens mount out there. Like, yeah,
I'm sure there will be disagreements.
Yes. We'll all pick our own. I bet there will be some overlap. There will definitely be some disagreements. But I kind of want to look at, like, are there any of these focal lengths you'd like buy into a lens mount to be like, oh man, I can't get that anywhere else. I love that. Or something you'd like to see in your lens mount, I think would be cool as well.
See, when Jordan pitched this, he just said coolest, and then I didn't ask questions and he didn't elaborate. So the idea of what coolest means to each one of us could be very, very different as well.
Could be fluctuating. Yeah. It could just be biggest. Who knows?
Because what Jordan just said there, like a lens you'd buy into a mount, I did not think about that at all. That was not in my mind. So I just went with lenses that I think are neat.
We also have... Sorry, I just want to point out, I'm not saying that we are going to, in the last minute, figure this out, but there was a mount on here that we did omit. I'm just,
Which one?
I don't think we have GFX on there.
We don't have Hasselblad either.
Yeah, or Hasselblad. Yeah, and that's fine because we don't have time. But anyways, just so that everybody knows, we're not going to do GFX.
I guess we're not doing medium format. All right,
we hate medium format.
I love medium format.
Oh, me too. I mean, I don't hate it.
Other stuff that happened this week. It's not a huge week of news. It was actually relatively quiet, except
space everywhere.
Yeah, so we'll talk a little bit about space and interesting the camera selection for the Artemis II mission. We'll go a little bit into that. And as we're recording this, actually, it was just maybe 2 hours ago that a bunch of more photos were published from NASA that were taken on the backside of the moon towards Earth. They're super neat, so we'll go over those too.
Gorge.
But yeah, let's get started.
And we're back without having asked a question.
Yeah,
one of my favorite traditions every week, Jaron jumping the gun Schneider there.
My bad.
So I'm a little curious. Like all people with good taste, I have been binging The Pit Season 2 lately, which rocks. And one of the main plot points on it this season is one of the doctors is going on a sabbatical at the end of the season, and they're leading to potentially something truly horrible happening. That seems to be what they're teeing up, but I'm going to disregard all the ominousness of that. And I'm curious, let's suppose that being the editor-in-chief and a couple YouTubers for PetaPixels is the kind of job where you get a sabbatical. What would you do? Where would you go? And what would you want to learn? This is not a vacation. This is a chance for you to widen your experiences and skill set. Where would you want to go for your sabbatical? Chris, you already know how to fish.
I thought you were gonna ask like, what's our favorite UNESCO heritage site, and I'm like, I don't know. I'm not really up on my UNESCO heritage sites.
It is Head Smashed In, the greatest.
That's
named,
where he's going. Yes,
tourist
Dr. Robbie wants
attraction in the world.
Head Smashed in
Buffalo Jump. Yeah.
Which
Did you know when
cool.
you call, they don't say Buffalo Jump, they just say like Head Smashed In. How can I help you?
That's awesome. Dude, a sabbatical where I'd want to go and learn something, grow creatively, grow spiritually. Oh, that's a tough question. You've been asking some difficult, more introspective questions lately. You know,
We've
as
been doing
opposed
this
to
for
like
3 years now. So
yeah,
you know.
as opposed to like, you know, what was your chief go-to microwave dinner when you were a teenager, right?
Yeah,
like,
exactly. Or like, do you like blue? You know, the questions are getting a little more difficult.
Favorite color. Oh man, that's a good question.
See, I guess I'm not really prepared for this because, like, sabbaticals that you get, like, in professionally, at least here in the U.S., or at least here in the western side of the U.S., I have no idea what they do on the East Coast. They still do things differently over there sometimes, is that you just take time off to work on something or just take the time off to get away so you can reset and come back and be, like less stressed out. So it's not necessarily going to go do a new thing.
Right.
Some people will do it to go like write a book or something.
Yeah, I think we could include that.
Okay.
You know, a way to grow yourself creatively, do things that aren't your normal job to sort of, learn or grow in some sort of...
See, all I'd want to do is go take pictures in places I haven't been and really just...
No, you're not allowed to do that.
I'm doing that, but I'm apparently not allowed to do that.
No. Jordan is a cruel taskmaster.
I mean, you could go take pictures somewhere, but you got to learn a new skill while you're at it, or refine an existing skill.
Yeah, no analog.
Like you've got to go out and and just be like, oh man, I'm gonna master digital photography now.
No. He has to go on a cyanotype sabbatical. That's it.
Yeah, I mean,
that'd be acceptable
that
response.
Sound terrible. Or just wet plate, large format wet plate.
Large format.
What about going to like a Trappist monk like brewery and like living with them and learning how to make the beer while disconnected from the world?
That is a 5 out of 5 answer, and I'm mad I didn't come up with it before you. Yeah, excellent.
I'd want to go back to Japan, and I'd want to like hang out in a small rural village and learn Japanese growing, like gardening, like
that's techniques. A good one.
Yeah, I would love to do that. So if I could just like go for like 3 months, learn some better Japanese, be immersed in that culture where I have to learn it better, and maybe like learn some Japanese gardening skills.
Can I do a second one then? Because I would like to do something similar, which is go learn.
No. You're getting drunk with you're getting drunk with monks.
Drunk with monks.
I want to learn how to build a house using like old Japanese technique of woodworking.
Oh, the wood.
Yeah, and like the thatch roofing. That would be a really cool skill to have.
There you go. Well, there you go. All right,
and I
Jordan.
could make some really hardcore garden beds.
Jordan is left with Civil War reenactor camps. That's what you're left with. That's all you have left.
No, I was thinking about this a little bit, and I would definitely be on one of the 2 coasts of Canada. I love Vancouver Island, but I think I might jump over to the East Coast. I haven't spent much time there. But while I was there, I would love to just take a few weeks and really knuckle down with lighting. I think would be really cool. Like to do location portraiture, like studio multiple. Because whenever I know lighting theoretically, but generally whenever I'm lighting something, it's a rush job. I would love to just like, you know what? I got a day.
But that's still your job. No, that's still your job.
No,
No.
He wants
that's your job.
Pictures.
I would love to do pictures and really, because I have some of my favorite photos are location lighting stuff, but it's always like a softbox. And I would love to have the time to actually really improve that side of things. So that's what I was going to go with. But if I can't hang out with the monks, because Jaron stole the best of the ideas.
But why the Maritimes to do that?
I love the landscape. Like if I'm going to learn location portraiture, I want like big waves and dark skies and cliffs and seagulls flapping, just dark shadows in the sky. I think I could make some banging art that the world would cherish, but I can't do it because I'm not on sabbatical right now.
Interesting. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
That's my take.
You know, I have an excellent segue to. I don't. We just need to talk about the sponsor of this week's podcast is again Harper Finch and their excellent collaboration with us, making shirts that rock. Jordan and I are currently wearing the collaboration shirts, while Chris is wearing a Harper Finch, just a regular.
But look,
cool
but it says
tee.
PetaPixel.
So yeah, one of the
cool.
Yeah, go ahead.
Some
Chris.
of their designs, you can actually customize the text in here. So you could put your name or your favorite haiku about penises or anything else you wanted to put in there. And I think it's adorable. This is how I feel when I take pictures.
Dead
or exposed.
There we
being
go.
X-rayed. I don't know.
Okay. This is a standard PetaPixel, just a PetaPixel shirt. I can't imagine this is super popular. I mean, if you want to rock a PetaPixel shirt,
sweet,
awesome, please, that's great. But unlike our last store, we actually have the ability to go a little PetaPixel blue, which I like it.
I like it.
I don't typically wear blue, but I like it.
It looks good on you.
Thank you.
Also, I would say, as we talked about last week, that PetaPixel shirt is very similar to the original PetaPixel shirt, but the original PetaPixel shirt's like kind of the font is kind of coming off a little bit. And these should be better built.
I will say, I mean, not to disparage our previous work, but these are higher quality than the shirts we had before. So, Jordan's wearing the Bilf Hunter, which, by the way, thank you all of you who have purchased shirts through the collaboration. The Bilf Hunter shirt is by far and away the most popular one, followed up by, I believe, the Bilf Hunter sweater. So, Bilf
sweet.
Going
you
strong.
can hunt Bilfs in any weather, whether it's cold or hot. You're prepared.
Yeah, that hoodie.
I just want people to think of me every time that they're wearing the Bilf Hunter shirt and taking pictures. That's all I ask. Okay, think of me however you want, whatever, reclining or spreading or whatever you want me to do, whatever.
This is the worst ad.
Yeah, that's really not great.
It is great.
Now I need to go change my shirt. I don't want.
So
7 out of 10 people are already doing it. I mean,
these shirts will be available until May 15th. That's the time we've decided to have the drop go for. So you'll have a little bit more time, about a month, to mull on it, decide if you want to get them. But they deliver very quickly. They are guaranteed. So if there's a problem with the print or if there's like a hole in it when it arrives, Harper Finch will replace it without charging extra, without charging shipping, nothing. So really well guaranteed. Great company. We love working with them.
They've been really great. Yeah,
check
They've been
out
really great to work with. Yeah.
The drop in the link in the description below, but also look at the rest of their shirts while you're there. They're also pretty rocking. So thanks to Harper Finch for working with us. And thanks to those of you who are supporting us with getting a shirt. Let's talk news. Fujifilm announced 2 Fujikina events coming in the next couple of months. One's in Copenhagen and one's in Warsaw. These do not have a X Summit associated with them.
Right.
So these are not really like product launches.
This is really a way for you to like go on photo walks, learn from famous photographers, hear their stories, do some collaborative events, like workshops, classes. Yeah, take a sabbatical. Maybe Jordan could learn lighting in Warsaw. I'm jelly. I would love to go to either Denmark or Poland. I think would be both. I want to go to both.
Well, unfortunately, they're not going to launch any new products, so there's no reason for you to go there, Chris. I'm sorry.
I know.
Well, what I'll say is I didn't really like think about it that much until recently, but I like the graphic design work they do for their Fujikina events because they take something about the city and they just add like a little splash of red to it and make a graphic out of it. And both of these are cool. I'm sure they made a pin because they make pins for all their like things. I would love these pins because they're neat. I only have the one from Prague.
Yeah.
I would love to do the Pokemon thing and collect them all, but I doubt that's going to happen because these.
I mean, if there's any listeners or viewers heading to the Fujikina, Jaron needs a pin, and he will compensate you handsomely for it.
God.
Yes,
handsome compensation. Yes.
I promise
with his hands.
Sword.
Yeah.
This next story is for you, Jordan. I'd really like to get your thoughts on this because GoPro is teasing and hyping the crap out of a product they haven't announced yet. We don't know what it is. All we know is that it's got a new processor that they're claiming is allowing them to get spectacularly better footage. So I'm assuming you've looked at some of these clips. You've seen what these GoPro cameras have done. We've seen 2 pretty short teasers that show what the video quality looks like, and then we've seen some photos as well. What are your thoughts?
I mean, it looks really good. It's always tough with these action camera promotional videos because, you know, you can also have like a fairly well-lit area, underexpose it a little bit and look like it's killer low light performance, things like that. So I want to get my hands on it. And GoPro is a company that likes to hype things up quite a bit, but it's at the time of announcement. So this is unprecedented for them to be like getting pre-excited before a product launch, which is really
we don't even know when
interesting.
this is coming. Like they've given no indication of, like, they just said, I don't know, Q2 maybe? Q1,
Yeah,
I don't know.
Historically, they've always been part of Techtober, Techtember. So this is a weird timeline for them as well, which makes me think this may not actually just be like the new hero camera. Maybe they're introducing a whole new product line. And we've done multiple articles on the fact that their market share has just been plummeting since the Chinese companies have been bringing out great action cameras. Things like the Pocket 3 are really eating into that market as well. So they need to do something, and hopefully they're doing something super compelling moving forward here. But the big question, I think, is will we be totally stoked or totally amped? What do you guys think when this product drops? I think we might be totally amped, but I'm willing to hear counter arguments for totally stoked.
The last 10 years, we've been totally stoked. So maybe it's time for some ampage. I feel like GoPro has to do some ampage this time. It can't just be more stokage. It's got.
What if they blend it? What if we're stoked and amped?
Stampage? I mean, if they can bring the stampage, bro, that like radical stampage, that would be sweet. I mean, I don't know. There seems to be this real normalizing now, of course, with the word AI driven, all this kind of stuff, right? Like everybody's doing it now. It's become normalized. We knew it would be. It's just kind of sad. Some of it's going to be more neural network, machine learning, deep learning kind of stuff. Great. But they're pushing that quite hard. I think a lot of companies now are really leaning on this sort of AI-driven neural network kind of design stuff to make their products better. And so far that's been hit or miss. So I'm in team skeptical on this one. I think it's just going to be a slight stokage, but maybe I'll be pleasantly amped.
I mean, the exciting thing is this is a processor and camera. If they were like, we have exciting new software, then immediately my blinkers are like, oh no, it's just going to upload it to the cloud and apply a bunch of stuff to it and send it back. It'll be a long process and there's possibility of jankageness. But if it's right in the camera with the processor that they're excited about, if they combine it with a really performant sensor, then that is really exciting to me. I love the fact that they're doing an almost square sensor, which is something the Chinese companies still aren't doing at this point, which works great for action cameras. Yeah. Like remember when we were looking at the Samsung recently, Chris, with the 4.3 sensor, and it had to crop way in to do the horizon lock, where the GoPros don't have to crop in nearly as much. So they have cool advantages. I just want to see them take those, but then kind of blend it with cutting edge technology. And if they do that, they might get some market share back.
That sensor that they used from the last iteration was great. It's a good sensor. And as you say, great idea. The almost square sensor, great idea. I don't see them changing that sensor for this year. I really see them reusing that sensor because it's only the last iteration that used that sensor.
No, they've been 2 years on it now. And
2 years?
GoPro usually does a sensor upgrade every second model.
I think so.
I think it's time.
We'll see, man.
So one thing that I want to loop back to is because I also talked to Jordan offline about this. Be like, I think GoPro might be going up market, which I also think is the best decision they could make here because they're losing hard to the lower end action cameras. Like you can't compete with Insta360 and DJI there. You're not. You shouldn't try. Because you're not going to win on price and performance.
But it's still going to be tiny. Like if you look, I mean, if you can go by the sample photos that they show and the teaser stuff that they show, they're still mounting it on cars with light rigs. They're still taking it quite deep underwater.
What they've said. That processor, the GP3, which is their third generation processor, is for action cameras, which, 360 cameras, vlogging cameras, and ultra premium compact cinema grade cameras. So you're not wrong in that they are going to stay small because that's their thing.
That's their shtick.
That's where they can try and succeed. but they just gave 4 camera examples. They've provided
only 2 of which are currently in production.
Correct.
Which is really cool.
So I'm hoping that what we're seeing here is the last one, an ultra premium cinema grade camera that is small, that you can take places, that has a larger sensor, or can somehow take better advantage of the sensor that they've already got, which would also be fine, but give what I desperately hope is better battery life. That has been a problem with all action cameras. But I don't know, you use the last Hero, Jordan, and they improved the battery life slightly over the previous version, right?
They always do.
Trash?
Yeah, there's always a bit of a bump every time. But yeah, it's still a constant issue and will remain. You know, if you're making a very small body, then the battery life is going to suffer. So if you make it a little bit beefier, then there's definitely some possibilities there for improving that, improving thermal as well. Yeah. Just all the issues that these action cameras butt up against can be rectified if you make them larger, but then they're not as good an action camera because you can't stick them in as many places. It's always going to be a juggling act, but to have a, one tier up, that's still something that uses existing mounts. Yeah,
like I don't mind it. So the current GoPro is like this. I wouldn't mind it if we got just like a little bit bigger.
Yeah,
just a little bit bigger. You could still put that in a lot of places, but just getting, twice as big, even 3 times as big would be fine with me. 3 times as big would be neat. So anyway, I don't know when this is coming. I'm buying into the hype, I have to say. I think the reason being is that GoPro is citing hardware changes. They're citing changes to their product line. And what I've seen from the footage looks really nice. So I will give them the benefit of the doubt also because GoPro
I hope I'm wrong.
Desperately needs a win. If GoPro doesn't get a win here, that might be it.
Yeah,
Speaking of cameras that we can, sorry, Jordan, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I think this is their last kick of we have enough budget for some serious R&D as their sales keep slipping. So if this is another failure, then they're just not going to have the money to keep developing this product line effectively. Sorry, do an excellent segue, Chris.
Yeah, I was just going to say, speaking of cameras that we can shovel heaps of conjecture upon, Thypoch has announced, announced a camera. They did it on April Fool's, but it might not be a joke. Interesting. With all the stuff that came out, April Fool's was awful this year. I was just annoyed by it on the internet.
It's time to let it go.
This year?
No more.
Well, because every day is April Fool's now, honestly. When it comes to looking at your phone, it's all just bull crap. But Thypoch is, maybe they don't celebrate April Fool's Day there. And they just came out with this thing saying hey, we are thinking about a new generation of camera, interchangeable lens possibly, maybe fixed lens, we don't know. But they were saying APS-C sensors, 16-bit RAWs, transparent colors. I don't know. It might still be April Fool's.
Yeah.
Why do we think it might not be?
Here's why this makes no sense, is 16-bit RAWs combined with global shutter. The impact of a global shutter is reduced dynamic range. The benefit of 16-bit RAWs is better dynamic range, but if the camera can't capture enough, then why include it? And this is something we had issues with even on some of the medium format sensors, is hey, it shoots 16-bit RAW. What's the benefit? I think we calculated a 1/7 of a stop improvement, shooting 16-bit as opposed to 14-bit on the Fuji GFX cameras. So that makes no sense to me and immediately raises a red flag. Could they just be are you guys interested in a Thypoch camera? Something I think Chris has been Chinese companies make cameras that are good.
Yeah.
So that's interesting, but their specs don't make any sense to me.
So the reason why, backing up slightly, so this, if you just saw this on Instagram on April Fool's, you'd be like, cool, funny, good, April Fool's joke, whatever. But leading up to this, I was talking with our contact at Thypoch who told us they were going to do this. And then he was super cagey about it. And I was like, I'm sorry, is this a real thing or are you just posting on April Fool's? And he responded with an equally cagey response. We're posting this on April Fool's Day as a bit of fun, just hoping to bring some entertainment to photographers. Okay, cool. But he didn't stop there. He said, we're genuinely curious to hear what people think about the camera design and the AI command feature. Your feedback and your audience's reactions would be really inspiring as we continue to shape our future products. That doesn't sound like a joke. That sounds like they actually wanted to hear what people thought about this. Wait a minute, if people like this, maybe we will make it.
Yeah.
And then they refuse to elaborate.
I feel like the design they're showing is just very AI built, whatever, graphic design. Sure. But yeah, they make good lenses. They make lenses that are compact and designed for small distances between the flange and the sensor. So it would make sense they could make a compact little APS-C style camera, I assume with interchangeable lenses. They're showing a sort of mythical Kasana 32 millimeter f2.8 spherical lens on here with epoch coatings, but they could do that. They could make that lens, no problem.
They can make this camera. The thing is, I just don't want them to include the AI stuff. Like, that's where I would prefer them not to do it.
But as I said, everybody's using AI now as their catchphrase for everything.
Look, okay, so it's a bit of a spoiler because we're not publishing this until after the podcast goes out, but Chris is almost done with his Kyra camera review, which is an AI camera. And they had to pull way back on their AI because the feedback they received from the public was, this is garbage. And so they did. So, like, I'm going to give Thypoch that same feedback. You will get pushback if it's
creatives
garbage.
Don't want generative AI.
Yeah. What's the point of a camera at that point? Like, nobody wants to do that.
Yeah.
So y'all listening might need a bit of a recap on this, but when Olympus spun off their camera division and got rid of it, so Olympus as a camera manufacturer no more, they just focus on their other divisions like medical and whatnot. They spun off OM Digital Solutions and sold it to Japan Industrial Partners, which is a private equity firm in Japan. They're the same company that purchased Vaio off of Sony, for example.
Thriving.
As far as private equity goes, they aren't the worst. There's definitely worse private equity here in North America, but it's still private equity. They still want to get a return on their investment. And so that does kind of have an impact on how a company is able to release products, and would certainly explain why we haven't seen anything truly new really out of OM System since this happened.
Mm-hmm.
Well, OM Digital Solutions' current CEO, Shigemi Sugimoto, who was previously at Olympus and again followed OM over, is now the principal shareholder of the company. He purchased a majority stake from Japan Industrial Partners, reducing how much JIP has of an impact on the business. Theoretically, this should make them more capable of focusing on what they might want to actually do, as opposed to just trying to get JIP a return on investment. So that's the story. That's the spin I've heard. Here's the press release. It says, this is expected to enable more agile and flexible decision-making, strengthen the company's management foundation, and further promote investments in technology development and business growth strategies from a medium to long-term perspective.
Right.
Chris, do you buy it?
Sure. I mean, if it puts Sugimoto-san back in ownership, back in control. He's going to want to make a splash. Obviously, investing this amount of money, he's going to want it to be successful. But yeah, other than somebody trying to look at returns, he's looking at maybe from more of a photographic company's mindset again. And we saw a lot of innovation under the Olympus name. Some innovation under the Olympus name. And so hopefully that'll bring it back. It also coincides very excitingly with this talk of a new pen camera. So I could see Sugimoto-san wanting to push that as like a big new splash. Like, I've taken over, we're in charge again, we're photographically minded all the way. Don't worry about that. And here's our new product, and it's going to be exciting. So, I mean, they're generating a very positive kind of buzz right now, because it's not ampage and stokage. It's like people in the industry being like, oh, this is cool. Like, this might be really awesome. So this I'm amped and stoked for.
Yeah, I think our major criticism of OM System has just been a lack of, that
innovation.
nimbleness is definitely missing. They're just using old Olympus parts. Even if you look at the OM3, it was a beautiful body, but still a collection of existing parts we'd seen in the OM1 previously.
Yeah.
And the thing that's really exciting for me is the first totally from the ground up, no Olympus heritage was that 50 to 200, which rocked. So if we just start seeing them move more in that direction, and hopefully they're seeing what's going on behind the scenes, they must have something cool if he's willing to just go all in, invest a huge amount of money to buy out JIP's stock in it. They must know there's something happening, or
he just doesn't like the direction the company's been going, disagrees with how slow they've been moving. It's like the only way for us forward is if we change, and in order to do that, I have to take control back.
We want Chris to use his dead whale analogy less. That is his preferred one for OM. So
It's a good analogy.
Whale fall?
It was a good analogy.
The whale fall, the bones there's not much left on them at this point. So they gotta.
We need a new dead whale. We got to kill it. We got to kill another whale. Bro.
Boy, that is an exceptionally apt metaphor for a Japanese company too. Because don't they still eat whale?
Bro, you can get whale in vending machines there in Japan still. You can get like fried whale and whale fat and stuff. Yeah, it's amazing. You sent it to me. It's horrifying. But if it means a brand new camera, I'm all for dead whales. So let's do it.
Okay, I guess that ends that segment.
Please don't quote him on that, anyone listening.
Let's pivot and talk about space, because this is cool. So you'd have to be living under a rock to not know this is happening. But this week, the Artemis II program launched, and that this is going to be where it's currently. They're going around the dark side of the moon and back. This is the precursor to when they're actually going to land on the moon, which is the Artemis III mission. So we've been getting a lot of photos from that perspective. Mm-hmm. And to start with, I just kind of wanted to highlight several. In the link in the description below, and if you're listening to this just as an audio podcast, those links are also in the table of contents in the description of this podcast. I have put a bunch of links to all of the pictures that we thought were the coolest. We've got some that were taken just as the astronauts were leaving Earth's orbit. We have some that is as they were pulling away and around the backside of the moon. There's a solar eclipse from the backside of the moon. But where I want to talk about today is the cameras that are present on this mission are not necessarily what you might think they would want to use.
Yeah.
It is a Nikon D5, actually several Nikon D5s.
10 years old, classic technology.
And one Nikon Z9. And that only barely got added at the last minute.
Yeah.
Smuggled it in a duffel bag.
Was it one of the scientists or one of the astronauts was like, I think we should have a Z9 on board. Like, it might be nice to have the higher megapixels and a modern mirrorless camera.
But so here's the thing. Jeremy noticed this. So in all of these pictures that we've gotten, we've only seen one really cool picture taken with the Z9, and that is from one of the solar eclipse images. And this one it's still funny. They used one of the seemingly most popular lenses on hilarious. This whole thing is a 35 f2.
Yeah, of course.
And it's lens. This is not some cutting edge like, NASA does. No, this is an AFD. This thing is like maybe as old as Jaren, possibly.
Chris,
can
you give me a little information about this lens? Like, did you ever use
the old
it?
School? Well, I didn't use it because to hell with that focal length. But the 30, I sold it. The 35 f2D was like actually a very affordable, compact, old school screw mount autofocusing lens. Like, it was popular enough. People liked it, sure. Everybody except me. But there's nothing special about it. It's just a good, decent f2 lens.
So we've been looking at these pictures that we've gotten from this program, and they have full EXIF data. If you can, we're also going to do this an explanation of this. The way that NASA shares images is manic. It makes no sense the where they go and how, but when you finally do get them, you can get full EXIF data. The 35 f2 might be the most popular lens that they've used on this thing. Like they're putting it on every camera. They put it on the Z9 for the picture that we've got here of this eclipse. I'll put it on screen right now. This is the only photo we've seen so far. This is at ISO 1600, which is in stark contrast to one of the other pictures we got, which was taken with a much higher ISO, 51,200 on a D5. But yeah, the 35 f2. There was another lens I saw earlier. It was like an 80 to 400 that they were using up there. Like, they're using some old lenses and old cameras.
I feel I don't, and you know what? This is interesting, and I mean, this is why the discussion was quite fascinating. Because when I started watching this stream, which I don't know, man, it's 2026. I feel like we could do better streaming, but anyways, that's besides the point.
Bring it up with Netflix too, because they still can't seem to get streaming right,
bro. But you know, I didn't know that they were taking those cameras, so I kind of had that fun thing of when I saw them. Having the discussion about like, okay, we're getting close. This is probably about half an hour before they reach the sort of farthest distance record, and they were like, I was looking, I'm like, oh, those are Nikon DSLRs. And I was like, yeah, those are probably D5s, which of course they turned out to be. And then they were talking about, 80 to 400, like, oh yeah, okay. And I was wondering if they had a mirrorless camera on there. Now, this might be, I get why they use the D5. It's a great 20 megapixel sensor, good high ISO performance.
Actually, Jeremy argues, he points out that it is the best high ISO camera Nikon has ever made.
Sure, yeah. And yeah. I guess if you look at it, you know, but remember, like when we talk about apparent noise, and again, science is different than photography in some ways, where what we would look for, I would prefer a higher megapixel sensor because I'm not going to magnify it as much. Therefore, I'm not worried about the high ISO performance as much because it's going to be reduced. But I get it. Yeah, maybe from a technical signal to noise ratio, it might be better. But it's an old camera, and so it's like, yeah, I don't know. I think I personally probably would have taken mirrorless. I'm glad they had a Z9 on there, but I get it. They're rugged cameras. They probably have already had some earlier R&D on housings.
They've been using these for a while.
Radiation shields and stuff.
Correct.
Yes. So I think that's really what it comes down to.
These are custom made for NASA. They're custom produced. Yes. They've been tested multiple times. And here's the other thing. One of the reasons that Jeremy thinks that the only picture we've gotten from the Z9 is of that eclipse is because the window where the person with the Z9 is, it was the farthest away from radiation. So the Z9 hasn't been approved and fully tested for that environment. And so they don't want to put a camera that they haven't tested there in that highly responsible role.
Totally makes sense. Yeah. Totally makes sense. Yeah. But it was hilarious. Sorry, if you listen to the feed, so a couple things that I still cannot get past the fact that the announcer at that time, Leah Cheshire Mustachio, that name just grabbed me. Wow. But it was funny when they were talking to the science team. You could tell there was a little bit of tension, a little bit of thing. It was just fun to see photographers still arguing about like, how are we going to organize these files? How do you want us to download them? Like, or do they go in separate folders? Like, we'd really like separate folders. We want you to be at this window. Like, I don't think we're going to do that. It really reminded me of Jordan and I. And Jordan's like, can I get those files? Like, I don't know. We'll see.
I'll take it under advisement.
Yeah. It was just funny that they're like, okay, well, yeah, we're not going to do that. We're going to do this instead. And then like, okay.
Yeah, at a certain point, what are you going to do? They've got the camera and the card, so you've got to do whatever they want to do.
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind, like, swapping those cards every time, like, nah, I think what we're going to do is this instead. Like, okay, just maybe you could organize them in subfolders so that it's like, yeah, okay, we'll see. So anyways, I found that very hilarious. It was, you can take photographers off of Earth, but you can't take the Earth part off of photographers, I guess.
I just wanted to touch on quickly, like, when we're talking about having more megapixels in these low light situations, we did a video a while back where we were saying like, look, these high megapixel cameras, if you equalize the viewing size, have better low light performance. But the thing is, we did that at like reasonable ISOs. We were like 6400, this is wedding light. once you get to like, they're shooting this at 51,000. Like when Jaron was saying, why did they shoot with the Z9? It's because they want to emphasize the darkness of that shot so they can underexpose it a little bit. It's only at 1600 ISO, where a lot of the other stuff is like 25,006, 51,000. And I remember when the Z9 came out, my wife actually did a video with Rob Galbraith, who used to have a big photography site, comparing a D6 to the Z9, shooting at those crazy ISOs. And yeah, in those situations, which are incredibly niche, the D6 just mopped the floor with the Z9. And that's where they're shooting here. So that's why that actually does make some sense, where for practical photography, I say that sensor is not a great one, because the only area it excels past what we have now is at ludicrously high ISOs, which is exactly what they need. So it does make sense. And yeah, you can see the charts on Jeremy's article there, from photons to photos, and see, yeah, when you get super high, it's still unparalleled. It's still the best sensor out there.
But this is very likely the last time a Nikon DSLR will go on a major space mission, because the Z9 is already the one being set up for the actual lunar surface. So, I mean, as far as it goes, Jeremy put this really well. I'll read his quote at the last paragraph here. Being used by the Artemis II crew while they set a new record for the farthest distance humans have ever traveled from Earth is one heck of a swan song. So that's nice.
I just think of the Arrested Development Judy Greer meme, where she's like, take a look at these because it's the last time, and it's Nikon D5s.
So I highly recommend you all take a look at these pictures. It's beautiful. Like I love space.
Yeah, they're beautiful.
I love photography. These people did an excellent job. And yeah, let's get to our conversation about the coolest lens in every mirrorless mount. Jordan, this was your idea, so you lead us in.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Jordan.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. So yeah, when I initially wrote that in a document, it was a one-sentence thing. And yeah, when I was thinking coolest, I'm just like, yeah, in every mount, what is the lens? That it's just like, yeah, that is something that kind of sets it apart. Now, I did cheat a little bit in my list, looking at, some stuff that might be available in other mounts, but are ones that would absolutely, if I'm in that mount, I'm going to own that lens, because I think it's something truly compelling. So we haven't talked to each other about our selections, and I think that'll be kind of the fun on this one. So we're going to bring up a mount without medium format for the sake of time and because I forgot. And we're going to run through, and I think this is a great one too. So if the audience wants to throw out what we missed or alternate suggestions or which of us is crazy, I'm eager to hear that. But Jaron, do you want to kick off the mounts for each one?
Sure. Like, do you want me to read all of the mounts, or you just want me to say like the first one we're doing
you
is
introduce
M-mount?
the mounts and we'll all ping pong around. How does that sound?
I see.
Great. So the first one is M mount. And by the way, it's not just me. I was having a conversation with Jeremy because I thought he might have some interesting. So I will be reading you Jeremy's picks as well.
Oh,
sweet.
Nice.
Sometimes direct quotes from him. So yeah, let's start with M mount.
Yeah, and I just want to say M mount is a tricky one because you'd think, okay, like a rangefinder M mount, it's going to be a small mount, but it's actually got some of the most manufacturers available making mounts, like lenses for it, because
There's
manual
so many.
focus. Easy to make, right? It's an old style thing. Rangefinder cam is not that hard to link up to. And so everybody and their dog makes M mount lenses. So just personally looking at this, there were so many options, so many choices, and so many directions on why you might consider a particular lens the coolest. I just wanted to get that out there. It was mind-boggling, I have to say.
Not
Or at least I
mind-boggling.
found it. I found it mind-boggling. I don't know about you guys.
For those listening, if you understand that reference, great. I'm so proud of you. Chris didn't know it was an actual reference to something.
I
I
did
actually
not.
sent him the YouTube video link to mind bottling. He's like, oh, I didn't realize that.
I thought
were
you
just
just
misspeaking.
had a slip of the tongue. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I saw it.
Anyway, Chris, what are your picks?
You want me to go first?
Yeah. You're
What do you
the
mean
M-mount
picks?
guy.
Well, pick.
what's
We're
your
talking
what's your
one
lens?
pick, one
Yes,
lens. Yeah,
one
yeah,
lens.
okay.
Yeah, I wasn't able to do
so
that all the time. So
I did find this tough, and I guess I thought about, coolest does not mean best necessarily, although it might. Best like technically, or best for you personally, or best artistically. But with this, I wanted to have a bit more fun because I feel like that's the strength of M mount. So I'm actually going with a really strange one that I feel like I would really want to play with personally, I actually went with a Light Lens Lab lens. And I do think the Light Lens Lab lenses are inherently cool. And just, for context, they are remaking a lot of old school formulas that you might not have access to, whether because of rarity or cost, or usually both. And so they let you relive these kind of things. Now, the lens that I chose that I would personally want to shoot next would be the 50 millimeter Elcan. This is actually the Elmerate made in Canada. And it was kind of an interesting lens. It had just enough character, good but not great sharpness, but it had that classic Leica highlight glow, which is maybe missing now from a lot of the modern Leica optics. And it's kind of a heritage, it's a fun referential heritage to Canadian production. And so yes, you can get a Leica Elcan, and they're not crazy expensive or that difficult to find, but Light Lens Lab did recreate it, and I would love to play with that. So that was my pick for my coolest M-mount lens experience I'd like to have.
Never used any version of that. That's cool. For mine, I went way back to when I used to shoot M-mount quite a bit, which is back when the camera store had a Zeiss Icon, which I absolutely adored. It is a Bessa, which Jaron is very familiar with. And I'd take out different glass all the time, but I kept going back to the Zeiss Biogon 35 f2. That lens rot.
You're in my
what? Head, Did I get it?
So, I'm glad you brought this up. Because yesterday, while I was going through the options, I went and sorted by highest rated Leica M-mount lenses on B&H. And the number one highest rated lens is that.
That's fascinating.
Across all of M-mount. So I talked to Jeremy about it. I was like, you'll never guess in a million years what the number, because there's so many, there's just zero chance. And he guessed, and he was nowhere near. He's like, it's got to be a Leica lens, right? No, Zeiss. Zeiss's two lenses for M-mount are the 35 f2 and a 50 millimeter as well.
Yeah, I shot that one as well. Yeah.
Then I called Chris and be like, Chris, we should just shoot with these because I think you have something to share with information about this. So that's something we're going to do because these are neat.
Yeah, they are neat. That was a great camera. Made by Cosina. The lenses, I'm sure, licensed and built by Cosina from Zeiss, which is very similar to the relationship they have now with their ML lenses, their Otis lenses. And they are, and I could see why they'd be the highest rated, but I do feel that they're highest rated because on technical terms, those Zeiss lenses were very good optically. Zeiss, which I know sounds silly, but Leica has always had more of an approach of making lenses sharp-ish, but more with character, interesting highlight glow, interesting color tone, a different way of handling tonality. And I've always said it, they're not necessarily the best lenses from an optical correction standpoint. And then Zeiss, even going back to when Kyocera made Contax lenses using Zeiss coatings and designs, it was really still this idea of making lenses as well corrected as possible optically. So Zeiss formulas tended to be the sharpest, the most contrasty, the cleanest. Not everybody loved that. Some people consider them quite surgical and quite sterile. But from a optical correction standpoint and an MTF chart standpoint, they typically rank incredibly high. And I always liked that because I liked the harder look and the contrastier look myself back in my young days. But I think now that I'm getting older, I'm starting to appreciate more of character, highlight glow, interesting tonality myself. But they're awesome lenses. There's no doubt. Those, and they're not expensive.
No, that's the thing. It's the opposite of the Otis series. You get more for less.
Yeah, but you could argue, Cosina also make the Voigtlander. I'm sure there's a lot of crossover there. And Voigtlander as well is kind of this thing where they're very good, they're very sharp, they're well corrected, and they're affordable. So, yeah.
By the way, Jordan, that isn't my pick. It was up there. It was my second. My pick is a lens that I actually think is kind of stupid, and I like it because it's stupid. And it's the 90 millimeter 1.5 Summilux.
What a stupid lens.
It's very stupid. If you use it on a rangefinder, you can't see what you're shooting.
It's much of your view.
It's essentially.
So why?
Because it's pretty. I think it's a really, really nice, pretty lens. Jordan said coolest. And I think it's cool if you also hurt yourself while using it. That's why cigarettes are cool. So that's why I picked this.
I don't like it.
Jeremy's choice, this is a quote from him. I'm partial to the Leica Summicron M28 f2, but specifically in Safari Green.
Well, yeah, that's hot. Yeah, that's hot. Yeah.
All right, that's enough on M mount. Let's go
75
E-mount.
f2 is better. 75 f2 is better. Anyways, okay, E-mount.
E-mount. Chris, go.
Okay, so I thought about this a lot because this is another mount that's got lots of choices. Way too many choices. And so I actually went a different direction here. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to stick with classic Sony. I'm going to stay to Sony in the E-mount, even though there's so many choices available. And so then I thought about a lens that I really enjoy, that is unique, that nobody else is really touching, that I really miss. And that brings me back to the 20-70 f4 zoom lens.
That's mine as well.
Oh, damn. Yeah, it's such a cool lens. It's versatile. I don't mind the f4. It was good optically. It's not like the best lens ever, but it's just like such a great, I'm going out for the day. What am I going to grab? 20-70 f4. And it's compact. I mean, I had such a fun time using it, and everything flowed really nicely. I liked the images I was getting. So yeah, awesome lens.
Yeah, I've always been espousing ultra-wide to normal lenses. This is really the only one that's ultra-wide into slightly portrait range. And I just find it so incredibly useful when I'm out there. Just being able to zoom back to a proper landscape focal length is wonderful. And yeah, super small, takes normal filters. I want it in every mount, and no mount has it.
Nobody else does it. They don't touch it. Yeah. And I mean, it relies on a lot of digital corrections for sure, but it was a really cool example of modern lens making where you can push the envelope in a really interesting way, still pull off a great product. So yeah, kudos to Sony. There we go. We agreed. That's great. That's fantastic. What a great lens.
Jeremy picks Sony 50-150.
Sure.
For similar reasons that you just brought up. It's like it's a really nice modern lens, and it's unique to Sony. I was waffling between two. Sigma's 14mm f1.4 DG Art and the 300-600 millimeter f4. Both of those to me are cool as hell. Like they just exude the cool energy. So I think I'm going to go 14 as my pick. That 14 is...
Better get on that special order wait list, Jaron.
I think I can get myself pushed up that list if I wanted it.
14's a great lens. Yeah.
All right. RF mount. And I actually want to go first here.
Oh.
Just real quick.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I don't have a pick. Because I don't think Canon makes a single cool product.
You're insane. No, you're wrong, dude.
I think that Canon... That you can disagree with me.
Yeah,
I'm about to.
Canon products aren't like Joe Cool to me. They are.
What?
You get these to use them to create stuff, like to take pictures, but they just, to me, none of them feel cool.
That's interesting.
As totally a Canon guy, using Canon right now. So anyone right here is like, why does Jaron hate Canon? I don't hate Canon. I use Canon.
But Chris? they make, I don't know. I guess I don't, well, yeah, look, I think their cameras are very cool and very nice to hold and very nice to use, and the menus are great. And the image quality is great. Yeah, I know.
You just described everything I said that doesn't make it cool. It makes it usable.
No. Okay, but their lens design, Canon do have some fantastic lens design.
What's the cool one?
Like a 70-200 2.8, that's super compact. That's freaking awesome, dude. Some of their telephotos are wild, and they make formulas that nobody else would. And they make like telephotos with slow. Anyway, well, for me though, it's going to be 28-70 f2. That I love the RF 28-70 f2.
But you like
love
the
that.
Sony one more.
Well, yeah, but this isn't Canon RF. It's still a very cool lens. It has beautiful bokeh.
I might have to agree with you, actually.
It's sharp at f2. It's a huge bowling ball, and I love it. And I like the idea of walking around with it. I like zooms. I'm not like some people are real prime prostitutes. I was going to use a different word. But I like zooms, and I like a good zoom. Yeah, I was going to use the W word, but I thought maybe not appropriate. A lot of people are prime. Yeah, okay. But like it's I like zooms. And for me, what I really love about a zoom is the experience it can give you as a photographer, where you can go out and not worry about changing lenses, and it just kind of frees your mind to just, for me, it's like, I'm only going to shoot with a 50 mil today. Like, I get that joy, but it's like, I'm only going to shoot with 2870 f2 today. And it really does cover like a bag of primes, and it gives you that shallow depth field. Anyways, I digress. Awesome lens, and it is cool, and it was the first one that was cool, and Sony copied it, and I love
like
the
I've been
Sony.
Wrong already.
I love the Sony because I love the Canon.
Right. Jordan?
I'm going to go similar. If you want a bordering on super zoom 2.8 lens, there's only Canon, and they make the 24-105 f2.8 that is fantastic optically. You can use it as a video lens, but it's designed really well also for using as a photography lens. Sigma did bring out their 28-105, which I shot a wedding with and really enjoyed it, but I missed that 4mm. Like, there's a reason the 24-105 f4 is a staple in every single lens manufacturers. It's just a wonderful focal length. Having that in 2.8 rocks, and don't forget, Canon makes a 1-300 2.8 as well. So with two lenses, you can cover wide angle to true telephoto all at 2.8. That's a fantastic advantage for professionals that's not offered in any other lens mount. Cool lens, Joe Cool lens, Jaron.
I don't always agree with their mindset, but you got to give Canon credit that they take risks when it comes to their optical designs, and they have the chops to make those risks materialize into good lenses. So yeah, I think they did a great job.
16mm 2.8's on my runner-up as well. Super small, super
nice
cheap, ultra wide.
Yeah.
Great. Love it. Sorry, I want to hear from Jeremy.
Jeremy picks the 45mm f1.2. He thinks that's cool.
Sure. That's another great example of a lens that, like, you're like, who's making these things? Like, all the Chinese companies? And then one of the major manufacturers from Japan's like, nah, we're going to make a super affordable lens, and it's actually going to be quite decent. Everybody's going to like it. And that's exactly what happened.
Yeah. They have to, because you can't put the Chinese ones on it.
Well, fair enough, Jordan. But you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I do.
But you know what I'm saying, though, right?
Yeah.
All right. I have been proven wrong. That's fine. Nikon Z mount.
Z mount. Yes.
Chris?
All right. This is not a cool lens. This is actually a very staple lens, but I have to choose the 24-120 f4. And it's
you
not
use the heck out of that lens too,
dude. And it's not cool, right? It's like such a middle of the road everyman's lens, but the 24-120 f4 is still probably my favorite general purpose kit lens from any manufacturer. It's just good everywhere. It's good at 24. It's good at 120. It's a versatile range. It's sharp at f4. It's got good characteristics.
Photos with that lens were stunning.
Thank you. Yeah, and it's just like God, it's just nice to have a lens. It's like a bread and butter lens that you can just rely on for pro work, for general purpose work. It's light, it's affordable. Like, there's what can you say bad about it? It's like, yeah, it's the Toyota Corolla of lenses, and for the very same reason, it should be insanely popular.
Jordan?
There's only one company who's throwing fancy names on their lenses.
Yeah.
And that's Nikon. And the Plena, baby.
That was my pick.
There's nothing like it. Now, you could say, there's 135 1/8s from other manufacturers as well, but they really worked to. Now, I know Chris loves cat's eye, but to have a telephoto portrait lens that minimizes the cat's eye effect gives you a bokeh that looks unlike any other lens. There's a picture of Jaron in some trees that Chris took with that lens, and I'm just like, that fall off is like unlike anything that I've seen on.
Is that the one that I use as my picture, like everywhere?
That's still your profile picture. Yeah. And I love it. Picture. Yeah. I mean, I want you guys to talk. I didn't want to take that lens. That was like really high up on my list, but I'm like, Jordan's going to want this lens. I know.
Yeah.
I know.
And 135 is a underserved focal length. Yeah. So having that, but yeah, if you give me something truly unique, I'm going to celebrate it. And I was able to use this lens for video a little bit on the Z5 video, Z5 II. And yeah, anytime I have a chance to use it, I'm just like, I want to live on this lens. It's my baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. I picked that lens too. I think it's nice when it is cool if you name a lens. And I didn't want to go with the Noct because I wanted to go with a usable lens that has a name.
Sure.
That lens ain't usable, but If there is since you took the plane, I'll say like there's nothing cooler than making a lens that is so absurd that you'll only ever sell like 3, and you name it, and and it doesn't have autofocus, and it's the Noct. Sure.
To optical engineers, the Noct is cool. Absolutely, right? But yeah.
So this just brings me back to like Nikon needs a named ultra-wide astro lens. It's the biggest hole in their lineup. Yeah. So give me a named 14 millimeter 1.4 or something like that.
The Luna, that would be cool.
Yes.
They're gonna call it the Uranus. They're gonna call it the Uranus.
All right, here's Jeremy's quote. I vote the Nikon Nikkor Z 14-24 f2.8s personally because it implements a good design with the swappable lens hoods for filter use, and the OLED is neat.
Yeah. Nikon make awesome glass. And I mean, that's what I loved about the Plena is like the Noct and the Plena were really examples of Nikon being like, look, our engineers, they've got some skills. They can do some good stuff. And we're going to show that off. The Noct was a perfect example, but the Plena too, where you put a name on it because you're proud of it. And you want to put it out there in the world and be like, look at what we can do. I'm kind of sad that they haven't made, as we talked about the Lunars, but they haven't made any other named lenses. And I don't know why it's been so long. I feel like they should be making more of these like signature, look at us, awesome Nikkor, proud of our lenses kind of stuff. Yeah.
I want them to be special. So I'm okay with them spacing it out, but it's been a while. So let's get another one.
It's been a while. Yeah.
I'll say it again. If I was to start from scratch today, I'd be shooting Nikon. And I think it's because of access to some of these lenses. Are
because of great. Artemis?
No.
That 400-4.5 was also on my special list. Nothing like it. Really cool. Love what Nikon's doing there.
All right, L-mount.
L-mount. All these are tricky. L-mount's really tricky. It is and it isn't. And I just want to get this out of the way. I really tried to take a concerted look at Panasonic lenses. And are there some that are really cool? And there's some that are really good. In fact, they're all, for the most part, very good, decent optics, but nothing that really got me excited. And again, I was like, oh, I'm going to give another chance, and it didn't. And for me, cool has to be a little exciting. So I did not pick a Panasonic lens. I wish there was something in there that would be a cool challenge. What's the coolest Panasonic lens? But we're not going there. So then, of course, you're like, well, we got so many other choices, right? Like I got on my list here. We got the Sigma 60 mil and 90 mil contemporaries. Those are really cool because they're so small. Or the Sigma 200 f2 is really cool, and you could put it on L mount. But then I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go with the lens that I then feel is probably the coolest L mount. I want to use it more. The Leica Apo Summicron 75 mil f2 is spherical. This lens kicks ass. It is incredibly compact, which is actually one of the issues I have with a lot of the Leica L-mount lenses. They're huge, gigantic, weird, ginormous things. The 75 mil f2 is sleek, it's compact, it's incredibly sharp. Not only because the apochromaticity, but also the spherical elements. Like it is just light focuses on a single point there. Beautiful bokeh. Some of the nicest bokeh you will ever see for street work, for portrait work. Backgrounds just go buttery smooth. Only 430 grams. Like for a fast prime. So yeah, hot lens. My favorite by far.
Jordan? So I'm gonna, Chris said we're not talking Panasonic here, but if you look at all of the other lens mounts, no one does what Panasonic is doing with a set of relatively affordable 1.8 primes. That entire series, 18, 24, 35, 50, 85, and then they've got 100 mil 2.8. So it's a little slower, but still part of that series. The closest thing would be Canon's 1.4, but they're very expensive lenses, where this is quite a bit more approachable, but they all match beautifully. And I think it's just a real example of them thinking like, who are our core users? You know, if you're doing like wedding video, things like that, to have a set of primes with autofocus that you can just slap on a gimbal and interchange freely is a really cool capability. So if I had to pick one of those, because you do 100 mil macro, I use that thing all the time. It's wonderful.
It's a very good lens.
But I love the concept of it. So I'm going to say that entire set is something only Panasonic's doing, and it really sets L-mount apart.
When I think cool, a lot of the time I think of this image I get is like someone leaning up against the backside of a gas station. They'll just be smoking.
You really like smoking. Yeah.
Smoking and sunglasses.
Okay, so James Dean, you're a James Dean prostitute.
And they flick their cigarette at you because they just don't care.
So
and the
bullies.
only lens that just does not give a crap
You're
is
a nasty
26
boy.
millimeter f8.
The which?
The 26 millimeter f8.
Don't you dare. Are you? You're crazy. No,
Worst lens of the year,
That
owns it.
Is that not? Do you just not picture that lens leaning up against the back of a gas station, flicking a cigarette at you? That's not really my pick. I just thought that was funny. My actual pick is the Leica Vario Elmarit SL 24-90 f2.824.
Oh,
this is one of the only lenses that has a variable aperture that I've ever been like, I like this lens. I don't even care. Yeah. It is sharp. I like the focus fall off. I think it's very, like every picture I took with this lens, and I took it on a camera that I don't really even very much like. It was an SL. Great. It was a really good portrait lens. So I think it's a fantastic lens. I don't actually pick the 26 millimeter f8, although I think it's funny.
Thank you. Oh man, that scared me. That's like the dude behind the garbage can telling you get out of my house while he throws cans at you. That's
for anyone listening. That lens has no autofocus and is a fixed aperture. So
dude, it was awful.
That was definitely made as like a last minute. We need to put something on the
zoom's not ready. The zoom's not ready. What have we got?
Yeah. Jeremy's pick is the Sigma 24mm f2 Contemporary, specifically in silver.
Ooh, Jeremy likes his wides. Yeah, that's a hot lens. I'm surprised we haven't really had any Sigmas on this list yet. This is interesting.
I mentioned the Sigma 14 and the Sigma 300-600. Both of those are also available on L-mount.
That's true. You did.
And those are beautiful lenses. And very, very cool. Those are the ones, they're actually leaning up against the Science Center, and they're in a full suit.
Yeah. My runner-up was the 35mm 1.42 that we just reviewed, which is one of the nicest lenses I've ever seen. And having that in L-mount was something I would like.
Yeah, but it's not cool. 35s are not cool.
Micro Four Thirds.
Dear Lord.
I argue this is the least cool of all of these mounts.
What?
Disagree.
No, Micro Four Thirds is the coolest lens mount.
Okay, tell me why.
Because first off, you have a lens mount that two major manufacturers can share and swap back and forth. Second, optical design for a smaller sensor has to be on point. You cannot screw around. And thirdly, they're going to be tiny physically, and that means like not only do you have to overcome certain design and handling challenges, but also they can be super compact, take them anywhere. Like I think they're some of the coolest lenses you will ever find.
What's your pick, Chris?
And then?
Okay, well, that being said, I chose one that's not compact at all. But
is it that Sigma one that was really made for full frame cameras?
No. I'm going to go with the lens I'm going to go with lens that I own. It's a perennial favorite. It's just my favorite Micro Four Thirds lens, and I think it is cool, so I had to choose it. It's the Leica 42.5 millimeter f1.2.
You jerk!
Yeah. First off, 42.5, awesome, love it.
Why did you take this from me?
How often do you get to use a decimal in your focal lengths? Incredible bokeh, beautifully designed lens, ginormous on my Panasonic GM5, and I love it. Really nice controls, beautiful color and character. It was just an awesome
In that
lens.
Xiaomi phone review, there's a shot of Chris standing in a big square, and he's in the lower third. It's kind of his waist, and the background is like really beautifully out of focus and blurry. And there's like bokeh, and that was shot with the 42.5. Because I also picked that lens because that is
dude.
So
now
good.
Look, the 12 millimeter as well, Panasonic is also on there. I mean, that's also a lens that I absolutely adore and love. But if I had to choose, I would go the 85 millimeter full frame focal length equivalent because that's my favorite.
Yeah, I looked at this in terms of like you could get a full frame small 85 millimeter like an f1.8 or something like that is available. So when I was looking at micro four thirds, I'm like, again, what is something that's only in micro four thirds? And you all know what's coming. That's right. It's the, oh no, this is plugged in, 75 millimeter 1.8 that I bring with me everywhere. You might be like, that's not that fast. Like that's equivalent to a 150 f3.5. And I'm like, if you give me a 150 f3.5 that's this small and this sharp, I would scoop that up in a heartbeat as well.
We keep telling people to make it.
Yeah,
just make slower, short telephotos, please. This is the perfect focal length for like candids of my kids. Fun on the street. It's just a profoundly beautiful optic, and there's no replacement for it. So I'm going to keep shooting micro four thirds largely because this thing is in it.
You spent your own money on that lens.
I did, because I played with it way back at the camera store day, and I'm just like, I love that. I want something equivalent. Runner up, I just have to say the matched f1.7 zooms from Panasonic.
I am surprised that those weren't the first. Yeah, because I
use those the most.
Those.
But
yes.
But yeah, we could get a lenses. 20 to 50 and a 50 to 100 f3.5 in full frame. Still doesn't exist, but that's something you could absolutely do.
So many good lenses. So many.
Jeremy agrees with me and Chris on the 42.5.
Wow.
But also wants to mention the Panasonic 8 to 18 28 to 4.
Yeah, great lens. Yeah.
And OM Systems 150 to 400 4.5 with the TC.
Yeah, I was just going to say the 150 to 400 is an awesome optic. Like it's stunningly good. It's in every sense of the word an expensive wildlife professional lens, but it's fantastic. Yeah.
So when I said that I thought micro four thirds was like not the coolest, it's because it's the impression people have of micro four thirds, not my personal belief that micro four thirds is awesome. It's that a lot of folks think they're the nerdy kid in the front of the room, but like they're not cool at all. They're wrong.
They're wrong. Micro four thirds is awesome.
All right, last one, Chris. Fujifilm X mount.
X mount, yeah. I've used X mount, but not a lot of lenses, so I don't have as much experience here. I basically just used the zooms, but I have a different take here, and it's a brand that I really like that I haven't really mentioned here on this other one. I'm going with the Viltrox 75 millimeter f1.2. So this is a weird lens, right? I mean, we're talking, you're not getting a 75 mil. I mean, this is sort of in the 135-ish range, 130 range. Not even quite that, but it's a beautiful lens, 110, yeah. But it's similar kind of look, right? It's kind of that longer telephoto, great for portraits. F1.2, insanely sharp, like 110 millimeter F1.8, like that's pretty hot. And Viltrox make fantastic optics. I want to play with this one more. But again, for me, if a lens is going to be cool, it's got to have interesting bokeh, good sharpness at f1.2, good price point. So yeah, very cool lens. I want to play with it more.
I'm going to go to a almost forgotten lens. I used to joke about this all the time because I remember No Film School, for some reason, like every 4 months would just repost our video of this for no reason. I appreciated the views. We'd always be like, oh, I guess we just got 5,000 views on this for some reason. But the MK series of lenses from Fujifilm, specifically the 18 to 55, it's a T 2.9. Beautiful parfocal zoom, focus breathing completely corrected. But the big thing is our BTS for they're cinema lenses. Our BTS for the Alaska video was shot almost exclusively on the 18 to 55, and it looks fantastic. I forgot how much I miss the aesthetic from those lenses. I've only had the chance to use them on a couple of press trips, but every time they're an absolute joy. So I'm hoping I'll get a chance to use them more in the next year. It's kind of in my wish list of something to scoop up because we really need to see more affordable parfocal zooms from the major mirrorless manufacturers designed for like mid-level creators. Because this, I think, is like still sitting about $3,500 or something like that. But to have something with this capability, even like 8 years later, is still pretty unprecedented. So give me more like this in all the other lens mounts.
Fujinon in general is just inherently cool. It's just an inherently cool name. You get the Fujinon, you get the green stripe, all of their cinema stuff is hot.
My pick is a lens that I used for the first time last year. because Jason Vong let me borrow it because I was out taking some samples for the XT33, and that's the XF 90mm f2R LM WR.
Love that lens.
I'm going to use a Jordan. This lens honks.
Yeah, it does.
I put this on because like the lens that I got was like the kit lens for the XT33, and that lens does not honk. I took that off for a couple shots, and I put the 90 on. I was like, oh, I just don't want to shoot with anything other than this 90.
The 90 is nice.
The bokeh is beautiful. The focus fall off it's sharp. It focuses very quickly and well, even on a camera that is arguably the most entry level of the X-mount cameras. I had a good time with that camera when it was paired with this lens.
But I think the Viltrox would kick the honk out of it.
Kick the honk. Jeremy says the XF 56mm f1.2.
Sure.
But he says
Staple
you could
lens.
also make a case for the 23 f2.8.
But it's tough because you could also make a case for the 35 f2, which has that classic character that it was a kind of one of their first legendary lenses. The new 33mm is pretty hot. Pretty hot, like they make some nice stuff. The 200mm f2, I was almost going to choose that because the 200mm f2 was kind of one of the first experiences with Fuji glass where I'm like, oh, this is weird and neat and seems so strange on this body, but it was awesome optically. Maybe shooting in Japan didn't hurt, but it was awesome.
That's right. That's why I shot the 90. So
yeah, but but it was a great lens for it.
What were you saying, Jordan?
Oh, I said the Great White Sharp. That's just our nickname
the Great White
for
Sharp.
the
That's what we
200mm f2.
Yeah.
The 90mm is one of my favorites, Jern. Great choice because it's
great lens.
135mm f2.8 equivalent. Please give me slower 135s for the love of God. I'll buy them all.
Yeah, it's funny that we just don't get those. Come on, Tamron. You could do it. You want to make something unique? That's a prime. We just laid up several there for you.
Bunch of slow primes, yeah.
So, listeners, what do you think? What did we get wrong? What did we get right? What did we leave out? Let us know in the comments below. And with that, what have you guys been up to?
Okay, I'll go first because we always do this dramatic pause every episode, and it's getting weird. So lots of good news in space. Been a huge week for space. I mean, you've got Project Hail Mary cleaning up the box office. You got Artemis II happening. People, there is something dire in space as well. And that is the Super Mario Galaxy movie that I brought my kids to. And this thing sucks. Oh my God, it's so bad.
I've heard that the story is...
What story?
Using the word story is a little bit of an exaggeration of what it has.
Oh, dude, it looked like an ADHD nightmare. That was one of the worst trailers I've ever seen. And it's funny because it came right after one of the best trailers I've ever seen for Dune 3. That trailer honks.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember when I saw Project Hail Mary and the Dune 3 trailer played in IMAX before, the guy beside me was like, that's an effing trailer.
It was such a good trailer. The Dune 3 trailer is so good. And that Super Mario Galaxy trailer, I was like, no way in hell will I take Maddie to this movie.
You know what stinks about that?
In hell.
Is because like it is, I'm going to air quotes, shot. It is animated very well. Like the camera quote that they use, they mimic anamorphic really well. Jeremy,
but Toy Story 4 did that way better 7 years ago.
And apparently also the music is far superior in this, where they actually used, like they did their own orchestral arrangements as opposed to pop music, which was in the first one. So that's an improvement. It's just that they decided that story didn't matter at all.
It's a series of vignettes where they're just like, hey, remember this? Like, hey, remember that character from Mario 2? That's the punchline. There's no joke attached. It's just like, hey, here's a Super Scope 6. I don't care. Don't just throw products at me and expect me to like be delighted. Man, at least my wife and I were able to doze off briefly, but it's so loud, it kept waking us up. I say it was like getting my teeth scaled, where it's just like unpleasant, and you're like, I want to know how much longer, but I can't check the time. Anyways, go ahead, Chris.
No. Well, your Super Scope reference just reminded me what I would love to see a movie of is the robot game. Was it Battle Clash? Battle Clash? Is that the one I'm thinking? I'm trying to look it up right now. It was like where you shoot at like giant mechs. and it was
Cybernator?
awesome. No, with the super scope, like shooting game, like with the gun, the bazooka.
Yeah, I never had one. Maybe that's why I didn't
It was
cheer
Battle
for
Clash,
joy
dude.
when Star Fox picked one up.
Dude, that's
What
a wild
stupid
reference.
movie.
Battle Clash. I want to see a Battle Clash movie. Everybody knows it'd be awesome. Anyways, I did not take my daughter to a movie. Actually, we had a great time. We went out ice fishing. I was worried if we were going to be able to find time to do it because it's starting to get pretty warm here. And the lake that we fished on, it was dubious, the thickness, but we made it out there okay. I mean, Maddie weighs nothing. I wasn't worried about her, but I was worried about going through. But we were okay. And the ice that we were actually fishing on was like 8 inches thick, totally safe, no problem at all. It was just getting to off the shore was a little bit. Oh, yeah, we caught pike. It was great. Super nice, beautiful day, really fun. Yeah, she didn't cry or complain, so that was great. So yeah, we had a good day.
Good fishing story.
Ice fishing.
Unlike the last fishing story I remember.
If you take your kid out for like 4 hours and they're not whining the whole time, that's a win. That's a good day fishing. And she caught some. She was happy, and then she was like, "Nah, I don't want it anymore." Like, fine, I'll fish, and it was great. We had a great time. Easter, I slayed it with the ham, dude. The ham was incredible. Best ham ever this year. I don't know, tell you, scalloped potatoes, broccolini. I did red pepper flake broccolini.
Oh, I love
broccolini. Jeweled carrots, and just killed it with the ham this year. So anyways.
I have to come visit.
It was a great
so that Chris can cook for me because he says he's a good cook. I need to verify.
I'm not invited over. He doesn't want outside.
That's not true. I've invited you guys every time. You don't do it. You don't do it because you have like 8 family members you have to per day that you have to see over the whole weekend. But yeah, dude, I think I've decided I'm very good at making holiday meals.
Yeah.
I got the holiday meals down pat. And I'm fine throughout the rest of the day, but holiday meals for sure. Actually, I made seafood chowder as well. Jordan, you missed that. I'm sorry. It was really good.
What's the next major holiday I'm going to make you cook for? Mother's Day.
Mother's Day.
No.
We're not here. Yeah, I don't think we're here. Who cooks on Mother's Day? Mother's Day is brunch.
My week was spent. Well, I didn't do much during the week, but this last weekend I went for a 20-mile bike ride with my friend Matt. And
that's too far.
Well, 10 miles to get to the brewery where we had lunch and beer, and then we got back on our bikes and rode back. So 10 more miles was great. My legs were a little sore the next day, but that was really nice use of my time. But right when I got back from that ride, I made lumpia, which I have not a ton of experience making that. My mother is usually the one who does it, and it's the wrapping that I'm not super good at still. They came out incredible. I am very happy. I did it a different way than my mom does it. So there's 2 types of lumpia. There's like where you pre-cook everything, you put it in and you wrap it, but you can also do it with raw meat, and then it cooks when you cook them. I did the raw meat one, and it was kind of a mix between lumpia Shanghai and standard lumpia, where there's a little bit of 5-spice in there. But I also put vegetables in, which you don't see in lumpia Shanghai. They came out great. I bought an air fryer, which is what made me want to make lumpia.
Jaron.
Now, I bought an air fryer because it is
I'm anti-air fryer. I am anti-air fryer.
Me too. This is technically more just a second oven for the house. Like it's big. Like it's the large Cuisinart one that I got at Costco, and it works very well. And
stupid machines.
I need a second oven for when I do big dinners because I use the oven a lot, and if the stuff cooks at different temperatures. So it's going to be nice to have a second oven. But I agree, the concept of an air fryer is I'm personally offended by it.
Yeah,
but boy, it made good lumpia. Yes, Jordan.
There you go.
Chris, I just want to know, would you be more upset if Jaron said he bought another film camera or this air fryer? Which one would disappoint you more? Oh, okay.
The air fryer for sure. Yeah, I've got a thing with like extra appliances in the house. It just drives me crazy because
I have a lot of space.
I mean, if you use it, great. I mean,
yesterday and the day before.
I love my wife very much, but she has this thing where she'll go on Instagram and then she'll see people enjoying their lives with air fryers, which is a scam. And then she'll be like, I need to have that, right? Or she saw the Instapot 360. She's like, I need to have one. That should be great, right?
So what you're saying is I need to text your wife pictures of how much fun I'm having with my air fryer.
Do not. I will never forgive you. But and you know what? Like the Instapot never touched. She never touched it. Like 0 times. right? 0 times. So I'm like, okay, well, what I used it more than her, but I don't.
I'm going to text her a picture of the lumpia
don't
now
do
and
it.
be like,
Don't do
I
it.
made this in an air fryer. Chris tells me that you're not
I haven't even
allowed
touched
to
the
know this.
Insta360 in years. And if you get joy from it, great. I'm not saying. However you want to heat your food is your business. But the air fryer, then I'm like, not again.
It does produce a different texture than my oven does. And my oven,
come on, man.
In my oven's defense,
if another person tells me,
convection.
it's great for reheating pizza, and so like, give me a break.
No, I use a frying pan for that, actually.
It's stupid. You make chicken fingers in the oven if you. Anyways, I hate them. It's stupid. My counter is full of it. I can't remember the last time she used the air fryer. It's almost never now. Like, it's just, at least she used it.
She has an air fryer? Does she have like the egg-shaped ones?
We have the
basket?
Ninja. We have the Ninja with the 2 baskets. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's a toaster. We had these in the 80s. It's a toaster oven. It's a toaster oven.
With a fan
in it. Who cares? So anyways,
I know we set aside 5 minutes for air fryer talk, but Chris, last week you teed up something that we still
we're
need
out of
to.
time.
Yeah. You said you were going to give your Project Hail Mary thoughts next podcast.
I loved it. Yeah. So we went to that as well. Took my daughter to Project Hail Mary. My wife, her brother, he was in town. It was great. And it's an awesome movie. Loved it. I loved that it was more fantastical than The Martian, which I thought was great. Yeah. Some of the science doesn't match. Who cares? Like, it was nice to have a movie where you can like suspend your belief and just, have a great time. And it was heartwarming and well acted. And my daughter liked it. Yeah. She still likes Interstellar better because she's a smart lady.
So you're right. We are very close on time. So I'm going to pick.
It's okay, we can do it. Let's get to it.
I'm going to pick one. I think that's all we have time for. And it's a good one. I'm going to go with this one from
just one? No.
John. I actually don't know what I did with the file. I wanted it to be this one from John. But I guess I can't play it.
John Klinghammer?
I don't know what I did with the file, so I guess I'll save that one for next time. I'll do this one from.
I wanted to do that one though.
Well, I don't. I don't know what I did with the file. I don't even see it on my desktop.
Can I just read
anywhere?
Can I just be John Klinghammer?
But his voice is so good. I wanted to hear him.
Good.
No, I found it. All right.
Oh, yay.
Okay, I'm uploading it right now, John. This is probably one of the better speak pipes we've ever received, and I'm very excited to play it. Here we go.
Gentlemen, first let me say I'm a regular viewer of the PetaPixel channel on YouTube, and I want to thank you for all your work. I always enjoy the videos and the podcast. I am a professional classical musician. I play the clarinet with the Kansas City Symphony. Come check us out if you're ever in the area. We totally rock. And as such, I was momentarily pleased when you opened your first podcast of 2026, bemoaning the fact that the Golden Globes had handed out the award for Best Score during the commercial break.
Hogwash.
A travesty indeed. I agree, and kudos to you for speaking up for this art form. However, my smile gradually turned into a frown as I listened to 4 seemingly thoughtful and well-versed artists have a conversation about their favorite film scores, and not once did the name John Williams pass anyone's lips. Jaws, Close Encounters, Raiders, Jurassic Park, Schindler's List, Harry Potter, and what's the other one? Oh yeah, Star Wars! Need I go on? Any of these ring a bell? It's as if you were discussing your favorite guy who shoots video of Osprey on YouTube, and you didn't mention Mark Smith. Jordan, you get partial credit for mentioning how much you love the Catch Me If You Can soundtrack, but you still didn't name the composer, Jordan. It's John Williams.
I thought it was common knowledge.
It should be a crime to discuss film scores without starting and ending with his name. He is the GOAT.
Yeah.
Love the show, and Happy New Year.
Okay, I'm glad I didn't just read
for
that.
SpeakPipe.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't just read that one out because John did a great job. You know what? And why did we not choose John Williams?
Because I feel like
that was how I introduced the topic. Is I want to talk about scores because I just watched Catch Me If You Can with my kid. I assumed the world knew that's John Williams, and I just feel like that's the real I like the Beatles of talking about. I wanted to dig into some that surprised me. Of course, I love John Williams scores. I have most of them on purchased on Apple Music. That is the most love you can show. I don't stream that stuff.
John is right.
I buy that stuff.
John is right.
John's right.
I will not defend my lack of saying stuff. I'm sorry, John. I'm very sorry.
I should have said his name.
But I agree with Jordan on this. Like, John Williams is too much the GOAT. He's too ubiquitous, right? It's like, it's kind of, Hans Zimmer's kind of in the same thing where you're like, oh, I'm just going to get foghorns and stuff. But I get why John would like John Williams, because from an orchestral standpoint,
they're both Johns.
Incredible. They're both Johns, I know. But that's why he likes him. But I was thinking about this after our last conversation when we talked about our favorite scores. And I mean, I said John Barry doing Dance with Wolves is one of my favorites, but actually I've changed it because then I'm like, I think I got to go with Morricone. Ennio Morricone. He does some amazing stuff. The Untouchables soundtrack is incredible. And here's where for me, a soundtrack can't just be bombastic and rely on one theme. I want to have different tracks for different moods. And I know that's what these guys are all doing. But Untouchables, great soundtrack, different themes for different moods, really beautiful work, also stunningly orchestral. Ennio Morricone. And then, of course, all the other work he's done. Oh, come on. I do really like John Williams. He's one of my favorite composers. Yeah. I just didn't name check him because I felt it was a little obvious. But here's my question though. I did not belabor the point, but how often will you like go into Spotify and listen to Jurassic Park's theme song?
It plays in my head. It plays in my head without me having to. Like I heard it in my head while biking this past weekend.
Exactly, but you don't listen to it again to enjoy that music.
Did you know that it used to be my ringtone?
Dude. Right? Or Star Wars for that matter, right? Star Wars for that matter, right?
Ringtones.
You know, but he is the GOAT. Yes, absolutely. But like I far more often listen to other composers because I actually enjoy the music as something I would listen to on a regular basis rather than just in the context of a movie.
It was on my LG Voyager.
Wow. You're so old.
All right, time for the feel-good story of the week. Even though this whole episode has been pretty feel-good. We're going to go back to space, but actually stay on Earth. This is a feature we did with photographer Stephen Maddow, who photographed the Artemis II launch with 14 cameras, all of them Panasonic Lumix. Some of the coolest photos from this were actually taken with the GH5.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, boy, putting in work, GH5.
Yeah,
love to see it. That is the photo of these rocket boosters, GH5. Love it. Great work. And I do want to point out that there was a comment either on Threads or on PetaPixel that was writing Chris for saying that there's no good photo camera on Lumix. I'm going to defend Chris. He didn't say that.
No,
I did.
Never.
So if you're going to go after somebody, you go after me.
I never said that. I'm like the biggest proponent of Micro Four Thirds.
Well, it's also like just the Lumix full frame mount. That is not actually what we've said. I just think that there could be a better photo camera on whatever the case. The tool doesn't. The expertise of the photographer mattered more here. These pictures kick butt.
Amazing.
Really good work, Stephen.
Steven's got these cameras in like fireproof housings and like, you know, like they're ruggedized housings because they're going to get beat up by the backblast and stuff. And
they have sound triggers. So as soon as the booster comes off, the cameras are like firing pictures. It's so
and you got great shots, multiple angles. You know, it's amazing. Like one person cannot take all these photos at the same time unless you have some really cool expertise. He did a great job. I love the photo of him standing there. He looks so happy. And a camera's a camera, man. All I'm going to say is Panasonic don't make cool cameras, but the work you can do with them is absolutely cool.
Yeah.
They make some pretty cool cameras.
Don't blame Chris for my words. You come after me.
Yeah, man.
The thing that they're sound triggered just gave me the idea. If I'm ever there for a NASA launch, I'm just going to go, if I see cameras set up behind a blast shield, I'm just going to go scream at them for a little while. And then when the person gets their role, they got a few pictures of me shouting before the blast happens. And I think that's a good use of my time.
Oh, man. Some of the shots, like the fire, like just the burners coming out, it's awesome.
This feature really got me thinking about doing something that I've always wanted us to do since I brought you guys on, and that is do a video about photographing a rocket launch. So that is now currently up on my list, and I think that is something we could do. Really
I'm interested.
With Stephen Maddow. When is Artemis II launching? We'll see.
It'll be a while. So we'll see, but that's currently in front of mine right now. So anyway, thanks everyone for joining us this week. Sorry we couldn't get to more tech support. I promise we'll do better next week. The next few podcasts are going to be bangers. These are all Jordan's ideas, actually. So, like, I'm excited to do them. Thank you, Jordan, for coming up with good topics. And yeah, we'll see you next week.
We're not going to reveal it. Okay.
What if they're bad, though? Now I have to take the whole fall. Why can't we just say there's
Today's
some
talk
potentially...
was great. Yeah. We'll see what happens.
I think you did just fine, Jordan. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Jordan.
We'll see you next week.
Bye.